I think Scioto.
Yeah, no. Exactly. And then I'll show you all the details of my job. But I just can see it, and I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll just wait until halftime. We got to broadcast it, fellas. No days off. Just coming back. Oh yeah. No days off. Wow. How were you feeling during that game? What was going on with you?
Oh. Oh.
You were just freaking out. I asked him about the Super Bowl. What was your emotions?
Oh my God! I was just like
Depressed?
when it was 28-3. I just kind of accepted. I'm like, man, like this sucks. All right, next season, like we'll be good next season too. Like I just wanted them to put up a fight. Just make it a game. And then they just started to come back, and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I'm just gonna get way too emotionally invested.
BCSN's coverage of number 8 ASU versus number 15 FSU Lacrosse. I'm Eliav Gabai. With me is Devin Henry and Spencer Hardenberg. We are so excited for this lacrosse season to get going, so let's jump right into it. Fellas, ASU has a tough matchup with a ranked opponent. What are going to be the keys for them in order to pull out a W?
I think for ASU, you got to look at the defense. The midfield, they have enough people to fill the holes to their left, and attack, they have the same studs from last season. So defense, Nathan Blair is the only upperclassman on that defense. You got to look at the young stars on defense, see what they can do if they can hold FSU.
Devin?
ASU is ranked number 8 for a reason. You got to come out in the first game, you got to play like it. These Seminoles are going to have their most difficult schedule in program history. Starting off here, you got ASU, and then Arizona as well. They know that they need to come out hot, and best way to do it is in game number 1.
There you go. Now switching over to FSU side, who's a player that ASU is going to have to look out for in order to get a win?
I'm looking at Davis Goodman. He was a sophomore last year. He's attack. He had 41 goals, 26 assists. Great season. He's a year older, year wiser, year better. So I'm going to look at him to take it to ASU's defense today.
All right.
Senior Cole Lindquist is always a big guy on this team. Last year, 66 points, 44 goals, 22 assists. He can do it all around the board. You might need to double up on him a couple times.
Well, last question is going to be a very simple one. We've all heard a prediction. Who's going to be the winner and by how much? I'm going ASU 14-6. What about you, Devin?
If they come out hot and they come out with no rust, they can even win this thing 15-10, maybe even more.
Okay, all right. Spencer?
I have ASU's young defense making a few rookie mistakes against this Florida State attack. I have Florida State winning 13-10 in an upset.
Okay, the bold prediction over here. I like it. Well, for now, for Devin Henry and Spencer Hardenberg, I'm Eliav Gabai. ASU is taking on FSU. Coming up next, Jack Harris and Nick Sheehy will be on the call, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Arizona State men's lacrosse. Tonight's game is between Florida State and your ASU Sun Devils. Please stand to honor our country in the singing of our national.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Go Devils!
Welcome into Glendale, Arizona. It is a great night for college lacrosse, and tonight we have a great matchup for you. The 8th-ranked Arizona State Sun Devils taking on the 15th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. I'm Jack Harris, joined by Nick Sheehy. And Nick, a season opener tonight for ASU, looking to bounce back from that early tournament exit a season ago. What are you looking for the Sun Devils tonight?
You know, what I'm looking for out of the Sun Devils is for their midfielders to get the attack involved early. This attack unit is one that has been described as a three-headed monster with Patrick Haviland, Jake Marthins, and Rhett Rogers. They have 98 career goals combined in the three of them, so they need to get the ball settled, dodge, and distribute to the attackmen.
All right, and on the other side, you got the Florida State Seminoles. They were so good on offense last year, a 14-1 record. What can ASU do to limit that offensive attack they're going to bring into tonight?
Well, Florida State has a fantastic duo of attackmen in Cole Lindquist and David Goodman. Lindquist, 44 goals, Goodman, 41. Whoever Nathan Blair is covering, he has to get the ball out of his stick. He's the only upperclassman defender. So whether ASU comes out in a man or a zone, they have to communicate and slide early.
Well, the teams finish up the handshakes at midfield. We are just about ready to go. The season opener, a great matchup, two ranked teams in the MCLA preseason coaches poll, and we are underway. It will be taking the face-off here for Arizona State, Trevor Driscoll. Last year, Driscoll was mainly the backup face-off man behind team captain Zach Mathian, but he gets the start in the center tonight against Florida State's man in the middle, Dylan Lodermilk. We're ready to go. Driscoll waiting for the official to let them take the face-off. And we're underway. Arizona State in the white uniforms, Florida State and the black uniforms. A scrum in the middle, and coming away with it are the Sun Devils. Mathian trying to get there for Arizona State. Some more physical play as either side trying to get the first possession of the game. The ball's still on the ground before it's finally picked up for a second by ASU. A big check on the far side. Ball still on the ground. Finally settled down by one of the Seminole defenders. They try to get it out. Another hit this time in Arizona.
Transition here.
With it. Through the middle this time. Running with it is Rhett Rogers. ASU's leading scorer returning from a season ago, and the Sun Devils can set up offensively. Ball will go behind the net now. Sun Devils setting up, and as it comes back to the near side for Carrasco. Carrasco sends it to the middle, now gets it back. Some good ball movement for the Sun Devils, who have the opening possession at just a little less than a minute into this one here, and Glendale.
Sun Devils setting up in a 3-1-2 offense position with 3 middies up top, Rhett Rogers on the crease, and 2 attack at the back of the net.
Yeah, it's a little different from what they ran a lot of last year, which was a 3-2-1 with Rogers behind the net. But they did play this a season ago, and it worked well. It's Carrasco at the top. He moves one around to Parietti, now into the corner of the box. The Sun Devils still looking for some penetration here. They continue to move it around the perimeter. Near side, Parietti again. Into the corner.
Cutter.
Looking for a center pass. It was Carrasco making a run that time. They couldn't find him. Sun Devils still moving it around. Back for Parietti, who's running the top formation for the Sun Devils. Now down low again.
Good offensive possession early for the Sun Devils. They're taking a lot of time off the clock, keeping Florida State's defense on the field.
Carrasco has to run down an errant pass. He picks it back up. He looks to make a run with it. Carrasco trying to get to the middle. He couldn't get a shot away, though. Back for Parietti now. Parietti running. Behind the net,
Inside.
a chance here for ASU. Picked up by Parietti again. Inside that time was Jake Marthins, who came very near to opening the scoring. A long offensive possession, the first possession for either team in this game. Working on 2.5 minutes here for the Sun Devils. Having it in the Florida State box. Carrasco and no rush. Gives it back for Parietti. To the near side now. Sun Devils still looking for that good shot angle. Turning with it and running with it here is Patrick Haviland. Here's a shot that goes just wide from Parietti.
Parietti now.
Back behind the net, the Sun Devils.
Cutter.
Good center pass. Rogers just missed over the top. Possession has been awarded to Florida State here.
Florida State gets the chase now. They're going to set up a clear. Wide open.
So the Seminoles will bring it through the middle. Running with it here is Hoppy. Hoppy sends one to the right side. Florida State with their first possession of the game. They send it behind the net here. ASU putting on some good pressure. With him here is Blair.
In that goalie is Johnny Perliti. A big question leading up to the season was who was going to play in between the pipes for the Sun Devils. You had guys like Rufanis, a senior captain out of Syosset, but it seems that Perliti's got the start here tonight.
Here's a shot, and Perliti makes a big save there. First action for either goalie tonight. Perliti had a 59% save percentage a season ago. Loose ball in the middle of the park. Up by Florida State. Getting the ground ball that time was Marmitsky. The Seminoles will bring one down the right side now. Their second possession of the game. Here's a shot. That one goes back behind the net. Florida State setting up behind the ASU goal. They're trying to get one to the middle here. A shot and a goal that time by David. And he cut right in front and was able to beat Parietti upstairs.
Davis Goodman on the isolation just took it behind X. A strong dodge to the right. Got his hands free and just made magic happen.
Davis Goodman, and only 28 career games played for the Seminoles. That is now his 73rd goal. 53 assists, and it's a good start for the side from Tallahassee. Driscoll will go back to the center to take the face-off for ASU. That goal coming just shy of 4 minutes into this opening quarter to make it 1-0 Florida State. Driscoll gets set up in the middle, ready to take the face-off. Didn't really have a clear face-off winner on the game's opening face-off. It took 30 seconds before either team could get possession. A good battle here. Driscoll continues to go down and now gets it out. A good face-off win for Trevor Driscoll, although loses the ground ball, and Florida State might have a chance to pick it up, and they're off. It's
nice
Parietti settling it down now to bring it forward.
Oh, he's got to make that catch. If he makes that starts transition.
Yeah, and transition play was one of the things head coach Tom McRobbie talked
Flag
about
down.
during this week.
It's going to be a slash. Arizona State's man down unit's going to come down. And this is not what you like to do early in the game.
Yeah, trying to see who's going to step into the box here for the Sun Devils. Either way, Florida State already up a goal is going to have a chance with the man up to extend their lead in the opening minutes of this one. Florida State will resume play here. Ball in the middle that time was to Schwartz. Schwartz gives it up to his right. Now back to Schwartz. Comes near side. Holding it that time was back to Schwartz. Turning with it. Being pressured that time by Kalen Curtin, the freshman long stick midfielder. Here's a shot that goes over the top of the net. Goes out of play. Possession will stay with the Seminoles. A slight delay here as play gets back underway. Move it around to the near side, now sent back behind the net. A centering feed. That one was broken up nicely that time by Niall McLaughlin, the sophomore defender out of Desert Vista High School and Ahwatukee.
Got him on the run here.
Arizona State able to move it out of their own half of the field as they try to kill off the remaining seconds of this man down.
That was a great defensive stand by Arizona down. Great active sticks blocking the skip pass.
And it felt like a big moment there for ASU. You don't want to go down 2 goals this early into the game, especially after they had that good opening offensive possession. We have a stoppage here as the drone flying around will have to be taken out from over the top of the field of play. It'll give us a minute. Our sponsors here. We want to thank ASU's lacrosse sponsors for providing us with the new equipment so we're able to bring you some great ASU lacrosse action here on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network.
I have never seen a drone fly over a lacrosse game.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll give us some good shots tonight to give to you viewers at home. Unfortunately, it won't be able to come from directly over the field of play. So ASU and the offense.
Seems like Rhett Rogers or someone, an offensive attackman on the crease, stepped in the crease. That's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, they had to give a possession that time. So Florida State will get it back here. And after that good opening, near 2-minute possession for the Sun Devils, they have not seen much of the runs. Florida State will get it on the near side. Running with it is Letson. But now it's going to be a flag and a penalty coming up against Arizona State.
That's going to be on Brandon Rogers, freshman.
Yeah, Rogers that time, it looked like with the illegal check, I believe, and it'll give Florida State their second man-up opportunity of the game. So Florida State gets it in. Here's a shot, a good save by Perlitti. That one was fired by Marmitsky, but it was a good stop by the sophomore goalie for the Sun Devils. He's had to make a few already tonight. Otherwise, it could be bigger than more than just a 1-0 lead. Running with it here is Mathian.
Mathian, great clear there using the swim move.
Yeah, normally just the face-off specialist. So check out here, but we've seen a lot more of Zach Mathian playing in the normal pace of play so far tonight. Arizona State just looking to kill some time here on the man down. Just under 8.5 minutes to play in this opening quarter. 1-0 Florida State on an early goal from Davis Goodman. Sun Devils with it in the offensive box. Holding it right now is Tommy Carrasco. Carrasco sends one down into the corner. Now back behind the Florida State net. To the near side with it is Marthins. Gives it up. ASU continues to round. Now to the middle. Catching that one was Rogers, the freshman, still behind the net. Well, this is what we saw ASU do on their opening possession. No real rush when they have possession. They just put it around, see if they can generate a good shooting chance. Pulling up this time is Marthins, looking to set up the offense.
Watch out for an ISO dodge right here.
Marthins looking to run with it. Gives it up. In the middle. Oh, right in front, a chance. Oh, but losing the handle on it that time was Patrick Havland. He was in the crease. The second time that violation has been called on the Sun Devils, and they have to give up possession. Florida State will bring it forward here.
That's a good ride there on the clear.
Yeah, that was Havland on the ride that time. A good hit here to try to break up possession, and coming away with the rock That time for the Sun Devils was number 25.
Here's Parietti.
Parietti still running with it. Waiting. Gives it up now. A great run from Parietti. He had the check and the defensive half, won the ground ball, ran it all the way forward, and now can get the ASU offense set up.
Parietti just powered his way down the sideline.
Just over 6.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Still, the one goal coming from Goodman for Florida State. Holding it now is Jeff Sanchez.
Emerson Roth is coming on the field now.
ASU getting their subs in to get their offense set up. Still playing. Looks like that 1-3-2 formation. Checking out now is Sanchez as ASU continues to hold the ball. A flag here.
Down.
Looks like this one's going to be coming up against Florida State. Taking his time with it is Roth. Roth trying to get to the middle. Now gives it up. A chance for the Sun Devils here. A shot and a good time by Jake Marthins. He got to the middle on a great pass from Roth and is able to tie the game at 1.
What Roth was able to do is he was able to drive and draw a second defender, and it was great off-ball movement by Jake Marthins to cut towards the crease, and he just finished right on the doorstep.
So 1-1 now with just under 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. A good goal that time by Marthins is able to tie the game at 1. The Sun Devils haven't seen a ton of the ball. They've already had kill off 2-man down, but they're able to get it tied at 1 here. We wait for the face-off now. It's Driscoll again taking it for the Sun Devils. A bit of a surprise after Zach Mathian was so good at the face-off position a season. Third-team All-American, but it looks like the sophomore Driscoll has impressed in fall camp and has won that starting job. He battles again for the face-off. Another good win for Driscoll. Well, you got to give him his props. He's 2 for 2 in the face-off so far, and he's able to start the ASU attack. Driscoll with it here after getting the pass from Marthins. Driscoll running with it. Now Driscoll will check out.
Ryan Bradway now checks in for the team.
It's back for Bradway, as you just mentioned, Nick. Back in the middle. It's for Roth. Roth gives it up. He was the one who just had that great pass to Marthins to set up the goal. Sun Devils still holding it behind the Florida State goal. Now to the near Bradway. Bradway gives this one up to Warniak. Nolan Warniak with it, the sophomore midfielder. Now it's back for Roth. Roth to the near side. It's Bradway picking it up. Sun Devils continue to move it around. Well, they've done a good job rotating the ball in their offensive box so far. Now it's Bradway. Bradway gives it up back behind the net again. Rogers made a cut to the middle that time, but he couldn't get a pass. Here's a shot. That one goes just wide. Letting it go that time was Roth. And Florida State will win possession. They got nearest to the ball first as it went out of play. Room for Florida State to run here. A good run through the middle. That time by Dearman. It up. Here's a shot. And that one goes just wide. Perley had to go down to his knees that time and missed just wide. So Florida State holds it here. They'll bring it back into play. Behind the Seminoles trying to get it to the middle. They'll give it up this time for Allen. Allen back up top to It's Darby Brower on it now for the Seminoles. Munzo with it. He tried to get towards the goal. Kept away from it. Now Munzo still turning with it, but nowhere to go, and he'll have to retreat back outside and pass it up.
Great defense there by Mathian.
Back for Allen. Allen tried to make a run. Still with it now. Sends it back behind the ASU net. Defending this one is Nathan Blair, the most experienced Sun Devil defender. Florida State turning with it, a chance to get to the front, but a good check by Blair that time to take away possession, and the Sun Devils can bring it the other way in transition. On the ball now is Bradway. Bradway looking to go all the goal. Now sends a pass to the outside. It was to Rogers. Red Rogers with it. runs into space. It now slows things down so ASU can make their substitutions and get their offense set up. Middle now for Parietti. Parietti holding it. Sends it back into the corner. Just over 3 minutes to go in this opening quarter. 1-1 our score on goals from Marthins for ASU and Goodman for Florida State. Parietti looking to drive at his defender, Allen. Parietti couldn't get towards the net, has to give it up. Sun Devils continue to effectively move the ball around. Now for Carrasco. Carrasco looking to get a shot away. He shoots one, and it's a good save that time. Florida State's able to break it out. It's Munzo looking to run through the midfield.
It's a good look.
Couple good stick checks that time from number 19, Brandon Rogers.
That's a good ride.
But Florida State's able to get it into the offensive zone for a minute, and now they'll call a timeout. So we got 2.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, and so far, Nick, what are you seeing from Arizona State?
I'm seeing a lot of penalties. When they're man down, they're doing a great job of not letting up those man-up goals. They're doing a good job of being settled, spinning the ball around the offense, and it's pretty neck and neck. Two great teams ranked in the top 20. This is what you expect.
Yeah, well, two good kills for ASU with the man down. This could be a much bigger scoreline in favor of Florida State, if not for a couple good saves from Parietti right now.
Yeah, Parietti's looked good.
So we take a break here as the teams huddle up, try to go over their game plans. Florida State, only a goal right now. A bit of a surprise. They were so good offensively a season ago. They scored 238 times. For reference, the Sun Devils only had 154 goals of their own a season ago. Florida State's only regular season loss was a road game at South Carolina back in 2016. Sun Devils are hoping that they can give them a road loss to start their season tonight. And both teams, what is their season openers. If you're just joining us, it was a goal from Davis Goodman for Florida State in the opening minutes to give the Seminoles a 1-0 lead. But Jake Marthins leveled the score at 1 for the Sun Devils. We have 2.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Florida State just used a timeout. We're waiting to get back under.
This isn't the only ranked-on-ranked MCLA matchup this weekend. You got UC Santa Barbara versus Stanford and Chapman versus San Diego State. What's unique about this matchup is that this is a non-conference matchup.
Yeah, you don't get many of those in the MCLA seasons. Well, as we get back underway, we want to take a minute to thank ASU Lacrosse for letting us broadcast this game to you at home here on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network. We appreciate their cooperation and support so we can bring you this great ranked matchup between the Seminoles and the Sun Devils. Well, it looks like we're just about ready to get back under play here. The Seminoles will start it with Pascarella holding the ball. Thomas Pascarella, rather, being guarded here by Kyle Corona, senior long stick midfielder. Still running with it here is Pascarella. He's brought it all the way around from the near sideline to the far side of the field before finally giving it up. Now with it is Craner. Craner looking for a shooting lane. Stops and didn't find one, so he had to give it up. Here's a shot. That one goes just wide of Parietti from the far side. Possession will stay with the Seminoles. Under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Florida State will get it back into play here. Defending again is Blair. Trying to keep his man to the outside. A chance again for the Seminoles. Another shot that misses the wide. Goes out of bounds, and Florida State will get it back. Well, that's Tucker Schwartz with the ball right now, who's being guarded by Nathan Blair.
This is a good Florida State possession. They're getting shots on goal, and they're keeping ASU's defense on the field.
Back for Craner here. Craner holding the ball in space at the top of the box. Now he falls down, gets driven to the ground by Jeff Sanchez, the senior midfielder, but it looks like this could be a penalty coming up against the Sun Devils. It will be. Sanchez going to the box, and I think I heard the official right. He said this is going to be a 2-minute call against Sanchez.
You never want to commit a 2-minute penalty, especially if it's non-releasable. We'll find out. But this is another man-down situation for ASU.
Yeah, it's the third one of this opening quarter for the Sun Devils. They were able to keep Florida State from scoring on either of the first two, but they'll have a big ask here having to play a man down for 2 minutes this time around. So Florida State starts it up with Schwartz. Sends one to the far side, back for Schwartz. More good movement. to the middle. It was Marmetsky with it. Now it's moved around again. Sun Devils trying to keep Florida State's possession of the perimeter of the box. Now a chance into the middle, a shot, and a goal that time from number 10. It's Davis Goodman, again his second of the game. And with 1:05 to go in the first quarter, 2-1 Florida State leads it.
Well, when you're man down, or when you're man up, I should say, someone's always open, and that's what Dan Goodman did. He exposed the defense, cut right through the middle, and just laid it right in.
Yeah, Goodman found some space right in front of Perietti's goal, was able to pick it up and score to put Florida State back on top with 65 seconds left in the opening period. So Trevor Driscoll will go back in the faceoff. He's been good so far today. 2 faceoff wins already for him. We wait, and we're back under play. Driscoll pushes it forward, tries to pick up the ground ball. Instead, he just plays it back into space for his teammate. Picking it up that time was Roca. Roca along the far sideline, spinning away from a Florida State defender. Drives forward with it, and rather that's Kendall Griffin on the ball.
It's an excellent face-off win for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, they've been good at the face-off spot today. Now a good pass into the middle is Driscoll, the face-off man, who almost got it, but he couldn't corral the pass, and Florida State's able to pick it up. And that was Quint Brodeen who got the ground ball. Ball back on the ground, however. Teams battle for it. It's Rogers coming in, the attackman who picked it up. Now a timeout here will be taken by ASU with just 24 seconds to go in the opening quarter. They have it in the offensive box, and they'll have a chance to tie the game before the end of the first 15.
Before that timeout, that was a huge ground ball by Rhett Rogers. He got right in the scruff. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. You expect big bodies like that to come out with those loose balls.
Yeah, well, the senior attackman is known more for his goals. In his career at ASU, he has 54 of them, including 25 a season ago, but did good on the ground there for the Sun Devils. So 25 seconds or 24 seconds left here in the first quarter, rather, Nick. What are you looking for when you have limited time in a quarter to get an offensive opportunity?
What you're looking for is just mismatches. You got to get the middies. You got to get the athletes on the outside to dodge, because that's what creates slides. And once an early slide happens, someone will be open. The middies got to dodge, they got to distribute, and they got to spread the ball around.
All right, well, it feels like a big moment here for Arizona State. They've been able to keep themselves in it despite having to go a man down 3 times in this opening quarter. They haven't had many possessions. They have scored on one of them, though, and they'll have to tie it before the first break in this game. They get set up in the offensive zone. Set up behind the net is Kendall Griffin. Closest to the ball here, it looks like, at the far side of the field, is Brandon Rogers. And now it's Parietti with it. Less than 20 seconds now for the Sun Devils to get something. They move it around, back for Parietti. 12 seconds left. Parietti is going to look to get a shot away. He does, but that one was saved. Well, it was a good look for Parietti in the dying seconds of this opening quarter. Maybe enough time for Florida State to get one more shot away. Here it is. It's wide. Letting it go that time. Hudson, he missed it wide of the goal, however. And after 15 minutes, it's 2-1. Florida State leading Arizona State. 2 goals from Davis Goodman. The difference right now, the Sun Devils did get a goal from Jake Marthins, but they're down 1 after the first quarter.
I don't know about this one, but mine's like sticking. Like I'm just trying to rotate it slightly. It'll shake. Yeah, it's not like a good swivel. I don't know exactly how much
That's what I'm saying.
Welcome back. It's Arizona State and Florida State lacrosse on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network. 2-1 as we begin the second quarter. The Seminoles Devils here in Glendale. It was a tight first quarter and one where Florida State had 3 man-up opportunities. The face-off here was a face-off violation against Florida State, so Driscoll... Oh, no, rather it's a face-off violation against Arizona State. So Florida State will get the first possession of this second quarter. Running with it now is Loudermilk, Dylan Loudermilk. His younger brother also plays on the team, Quinn, both of them from Satellite Beach, Florida. Loudermilk has it behind the net. Loudermilk trying to get it towards the front, turns and shoots one just wide of Parietti's goal. Well, Florida State has liked that line of attack, bringing it out from behind the net and trying to get those sharp angle shots. Ball back in here for the Seminoles. They get their substitutions in. Two ASU defenders tracking their men behind the goal. Florida State will bring it out. They'll look to move the ball around. Back in front for Goodman. He already has 2 goals for the Seminoles. Back to the outside for Florida State. They take their time setting up. Florida State, not a huge fan as an offense of passing the ball around, whereas ASU seems to always be passing. The Seminoles elect more to get it in their best player's stick and let him run with it. This time running with it is Schwartz. Schwartz turns, tries to make a pass. Ball's loose on the ground. Yoakum giving chase for Florida State. He takes his man down. It goes out of bounds and will stay with the Seminoles.
During that offensive sequence, Cole Lindquist of FSU matched up against Nathan Blair of ASU. That's a huge matchup for this game. Nathan Blair's the only upperclassman of this defense. So that matchup will most likely have a huge outcome on the game.
Running with it now for Florida State is Marmetsky. He gives up the rock. Here's a shot from a sharp angle, but Parietti makes a save. He was sharp in that first quarter, Nick. He had to make a couple good saves to keep ASU in this one.
Yeah, he's looked great.
A long ball through the middle here. A good catch by the long stick midfielder for the Sun Devils, Curtin, that time. He's a freshman, but now ASU losing the ball. Florida State trying to pick it up. Still on the ground. A penalty. This one's against. And it looks like for the 4th time today, it's going to be a man down for ASU. I didn't see exactly what the penalty call was that time, but for head coach Todd McRobbie, it's hard to not be frustrated right now. When his team's been playing at even strength, they've been good. They've gotten possession. They've been able to pass down pretty well, but they spent so much time a man down, it's hard to get in any sort of real rhythm.
Yeah, this man down unit's definitely gotten its money's worth tonight, and you can't win a game playing man down.
Well, on the first 2 man-up opportunities for Florida State that were only a minute long each, the Sun Devils did well to keep the Seminoles from scoring, but it was on that last penalty against Jeff Sanchez in that opening quarter where Sanchez was in the box for 2 minutes that Florida State was able to take advantage. Good ball movement here from the Seminoles. They try to get one to the middle. They do, but they can't get a shot away. They continue to move it around quick here. Holding it. They'll try to get one towards the middle, but that one was broken up that time. And the ball back to Parietti. He's able to, or Perlitti, sorry. And he was able to settle it down, and Arizona State can bring it out.
That's the second time this game ASU's man down unit has intercepted a skip pass from Cole Lindquist.
Well, head coach Todd McRobbie will be happy with that man down defense from the Sun Devils, and now they're able to kill off the rest of it and their offensive box. It's Rhett Rogers with it for ASU. He takes his time, walks it back behind the net. That's where we saw so much of Rogers a season ago, set up behind the opponent's goal. We didn't see it much in that first quarter with ASU playing the 1-3-2, but it looks like they're moving back into that 1-3-2, actually. It's Rogers who gives it up for Carrasco. Carrasco sends one back for for Ben Parietti, the sophomore midfielder. Continue to move it around. They try to get it towards the middle, but now the ball's on the ground, and it's picked up by the Florida State goalie, Ciccio. Whistles and an interference call against ASU will give Florida State possession. Back underway. Running through the middle of the park here is Travis Leston, a senior for Florida State. They get it into the offensive box. Just over 11 and a half minutes to play in the second quarter. 2-1, the Seminoles lead the 8th-ranked Sun Devils. Picking up the ball here is Brower. Brower holding it. Sends it behind the goal. Florida State trying to get it towards the front again. Running with it has been their goal scorer, Davis Goodman. Now a Florida State player loses his stick. Sun Devils are able to take it away. Good defensive possession that time from ASU. They've been good defensively. It's just that they've had to spend so much time in their defensive zone to this point. Through the middle here is Roca. Roca trying to avoid a couple checks. He loses the ball for a minute. Trying to get it back is Alex Roca. Still looking to pick up the ground ball. He gets it here. Roca still running. Having to battle a couple of poke checks from Florida State defenders, but he's able to get it away and get it to Parietti. Parietti stops, almost slips. Had to get it out of his stick, and ASU will look to set up their offense again. Running with it here is Carrasco.
Great effort on that clear by Roca. He was running, scooping up the ground ball.
It was a good run from Roca, the junior midfielder from Alameda, California. So Carrasco will keep things going offensively for the Sun Devils. They go back to this perimeter passing that really defined their offense in that opening quarter. Carrasco gives one up now. The Sun Devils looking to get it towards the front of the goal. Ball's on the ground, though. The battle will ensue there, and it's ASU coming away with it. Stopping and picking up the ball that time looked like Weston Colby, who won possession. Here's a shot and a goal. Well, it was a rifle that time from Jake Marthins. It'll be his second goal of the game. Really came out of nowhere, and it ties the game at 2.
Just a great move by Marthins. Shook his defender, cut inside, got his arms free, and a nice bounce shot to get on the board.
Well, McRobbie will like that. He wants his ASU team to play fast, and that time they were able to go quickly from winning the ground ball to getting it in one of their primary scorers' sticks. He was able to get the shot away. He beat Ciccio in goal for Florida State, and it's tied at 2. The second time the game's been tied with 9:50 to go in the second quarter. Trevor Driscoll back to the faceoff. He hasn't lost a faceoff clean yet. He was called for a violation on the last faceoff, but the sophomore has impressed at the dot. Battles again for it, wins it again. Trevor Driscoll making a big impact after winning that faceoff starting job in the preseason. Ball with the ASU defenders here. Parletti, the goalie, has it. Sends a long pass to the middle. That one hopped off the stick of Jeff Sanchez, but ASU's able to get it back. It's Rhett Rogers picking it up. Rogers bringing it down the near sideline. Sends it behind the net. Get their offensive unit back in the game here. With some momentum now, the Sun Devils, who will have a chance to take the lead if they can score on this possession. ASU moves it back around. Giving it up that time was Bradway. Gets it back at the top of the box. Now to the near side, it's Emerson Roth with it.
Here's a downhill dodge right here.
Roth running. Gives it back up top. It was Wanyaki with it that time. Ball back behind the net for the Sun Devils.
Look for cutters on the backside.
Back for Roth. Gives one up. Turning with it is Bradway. Bradway avoided a couple stick checks, sends it back behind the Florida State goal. A chance here for Rogers. Cutting. Ciccio was able to knock that one down. Picked it up in his crease, and Florida State will be able to or clear it out of their own end. The Devil attackman trying to pressure the Florida State defense here. Havlin trying to ride his defender, but Florida State able to pass it out of their own half. Running forward with it this time is Mermetsky. Sends it behind the ASU goal. Just over 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, and a 2-2 tie game, and the season opener for both the Seminoles and the Sun Devils. Florida State trying to get it back in front of the ASU goal. They pass it to the near side. Running with it here is Pascarella. Or rather, that was Salvador Lopez with the ball. The senior midfielder from Tampa, Florida. Now with it is Allen. Allen pulls up, sends it back to the top of the box to Craner. Craner tries to run at his defender, passes it back to Allen. More ball movement here from the Seminoles. Turning with it, trying to get towards goal. That time was Eric Marshall. Ball now on the far sideline.
This is a really good offensive position for Florida. They've been really active with their dodges, and they're getting the ball out quick.
It was a good check that time from Cole Campbell, the sophomore defender. It's a young defensive unit for ASU. Nathan Blair is the only upperclassman returning for the Sun Devils. But Coach Todd McRobbie confident in guys like Cade Norland and Cole Campbell to help solidify that back line for ASU. Florida State continues to move it around. Here's a shot and a goal. That time, getting it in the middle were the Seminoles, and they're able to go ahead 3-2. It beat Perlitti down low, and it's 3-2 Florida State with 6:40 to go in the second quarter.
Off-ball movement set and what was really good about the shot was the location. It was low and away, and that's a hard save for any goalie to make.
Yeah, well, the Seminoles have had a lot of offensive so far. They take a 3-2 lead with 6:40 to go. Before this next face-off, we're going to toss it to our sideline reporter now. What do you see down there?
Well, when I was getting ready to say a lot of things, we're looking up for ASU. They allowed another goal, scores 3-2 with about 6:40 left here in the second quarter. Now, Jake Martins, the sophomore, he's been the bright spot for the Sun Devils. He's had 2 goals so far. But there's been a lot of good ball movement from the Sun Devils. The Sun Devils have been forced to play a man down at least 4 times today. A lot of penalties for the Sun Devils today. So Sun Devils were going to have to dig themselves out of a hole in order to make this game, in order to make a comeback in this game.
Thanks, Austin. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about in here. Jack Harris and Nick Sheehy with you. It's been the penalties that ASU has taken. They've had to play a man down for so long. They've killed off 3 of them, but the bigger issue has been it's allowed Florida State to get into that offensive rhythm. The Seminoles have it behind the ASU net. They look to bring it out to the middle again. Allen with it, whipping it to the far side that time. A good check that time from the Sun Devils, but Florida State's able to get it back. Near side shot, that one was deflected. Ball loose on the ground. Florida State trying to win it back near the halfway line. They do. That time it was Goodman winning it.
That's a huge GB right there for Goodman to extend the possession.
Well, Goodman has 2 goals and now an important ground ball to keep the pressure on the ASU defense. But now the Sun Devils are able to take it away and can move it forward. They haven't had many offensive possessions in this second quarter. They do have a goal in the quarter from Jake Martins. He has both of the Sun Devil goals so far, but it remains 3-2 with 5:17 to play in the opening half. A long pass to the far sideline. Caught that time by, it looked like Carrasco. He moves it forward.
They got to get it in the box.
And the Sun Devils can bring it forward. It's Parietti who gets it in the box. ASU will make their subs here. They'll take their time. It's Carrasco on the far sideline who carries it back towards the top of the box. Back to Parietti. And Parietti's really been quarterbacking this offense for Arizona State, playing at the top of the box, but it looks like he's going to switch positions with Tommy Carrasco on this possession. Here's Rogers with it behind the Florida State net. Back to Parietti. Back to Carrasco now. Carrasco waits, looking for someone to cut inside in front of him. He tries to run one down the right side, gets it back behind the net. A chance to center one here. It's Parietti. Thought about shooting it, decided to pass it back to Brandon Rogers. Here's a shot. That one saved by Ciccio. He picks up the loose ball, and Florida State will be able to settle things down and they'll try to get it out of their own box. Ciccio runs one forward out of his crease, gives it to Allen. Austin Allen, the junior midfielder for Florida State. Now he gives it up. The Seminoles try to get one forward. A good pass catch that time by Yoakum, but then he stepped out of bounds after getting checked by Bradway, and the Sun Devils get possession back with exactly 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
That's a great ride right there.
The Sun Devils will come forward with it now. They'll slow things down. Jake Marthins holds it. He has both of the Sun Devil goals so far, the Rancho Santa Margarita native. Here's Parietti. Gives one for Rogers. Rogers sends one to the far side. Driving forward with it now. And a shot saved by Ciccio. And he looks to be hurt. Looks like he took that one somewhere in the lower half of his body. Well, the trainer's going to come out here for Florida State. And Ciccio writhing in pain on the grass right now. It's always tough to be a lacrosse goalie. No padding from the waist down except for your gym shorts.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would choose to be a lacrosse goalie. But
yeah, not always the most glorious position. A lot of times there's little you can do to save the ball. And sometimes you have to use those bearskin areas like your shins. It's never fun to take one off that area, and it looks like that might be where Ciccio had one rifle off of him there. So if Ciccio is unable to continue here for Florida State, they don't have the deepest of goalie units. Their backup is Austin Cook, a freshman from Tallahassee, Florida, out of the McClay School in Tallahassee. Ciccio is the more experienced of the two. He's a junior, and he transferred from Manhattan College, which is an NCAA Division I school, before this season. Goalie, really one of the only areas where Florida State can be considered inexperienced. They have so many good, experienced leaders on this team. Ciccio continues to be looked at by the Florida State medical staff. He's back to his feet here, and it looks like he's going to come out of the game.
Ciccio's played fantastic this first half.
Yeah, he really
the Sun Devils really have to work for their goals.
Yeah, he really made some big saves, but he's going to have to come out with that injury. They might just evaluate him at halftime and see if he's able. But at least for the time being, with 3:32 to go in the second quarter, it will be Austin Cook coming into the game for Florida State. And now we are going to get a timeout from the Seminoles. So a big couple minutes coming up here before halftime. It's been a low-scoring affair so far. Both goalies, as we said, have played well. 3-2. Again, your head coach, Tom McRobbie, right now. With a new goalie in there, are you saying get shots even if it's not? Look, a cold goalie in there. What can that do for a shooter, Nick?
I think you still want the best look available. I wouldn't suggest just taking high-risk perimeter shots. You got to move the ball, get the ball near the crease, create some cutters, and just create the best shot opportunity. You never know if this backup goalie could have been just as good as Ciccio.
Yeah, well, and for Florida State, if you're in that huddle right now with a new goalie coming in, is there anything you're telling your defenders in particular that you don't want happening when you have a cold netminder in the game?
Cold netminder? I don't think so. I think you just got to play as if Ciccio's still in there.
Well, head coach Jerry DeLorenzo for Florida State will be happy so far with his team's effort. They have the 1-goal lead, but it looks like a big couple final minutes coming up in this first half. 2 goals right now from both Davis Goodman for Florida State and for Jake Marthins of ASU. They've been the leading scorers for both of their teams so far. They've been teams throughout their entire college careers.
Coach DeLorenzo of Florida State actually won the 1989 national championship on the Syracuse playing goalie.
Now, so he'll know plenty about what his goalie Ciccio is going through right now, and probably what his freshman goalie Austin Cook's going through, having to come into the game when he probably wasn't expecting to. So the players will get relined up here. Again, 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the second quarter. Florida State, and they look to get it out of their own end. Behind the net, it's Cook. Taking his time. Now gives one up, and actually it looks like it will be Ciccio who's back in net for Florida State. So a good timeout from their head coach, DeLorenzo. He gave his goalie time to check back in, and they won't have to go to the freshman. Meanwhile, they have it in the Arizona State box. Sending it out wide that time was Marmetsky. Florida State losing the ball now. They have to pick it up off the ground. A battle behind the ASU goal. Whistles from the officials.
Looks like a push.
And so it'll be possession for Arizona State with just under 3 minutes to go. Ball right now on the ground, picked up by the midfielder, Zach Mathian. the man we thought would be taking the faceoffs for Arizona State. That has not been the case so far tonight, as sophomore Trevor Driscoll has impressed at the faceoff dot. The Sun Devils can carry it forward now. It's Parietti who sends one behind the Florida State goal. Sun Devils moving to the near side now. They continue to move the ball around. That was Havlin giving it up. Carrasco at the top of the box, taking his time. Kendall Griffin checks out of the game for the Sun Devils, as Carrasco gives it up to the middle to Parietti.
Here comes a downhill.
Back behind the goal now for ASU. It's Parietti on the near side, or rather that's Carrasco with it. Carrasco running into space.
He's going to pull it out in isolation.
Carrasco gets one now to Parietti. Parietti fakes a shot, or rather that's Rogers with it. He gives it back for Carrasco. Parietti waits in the middle. He's looking for a passing lane. Now he'll switch places with Rogers as possession remains on that far sideline for the Sun Devils, who have 1:42 in this opening half to try to find a goal. That shot bounced right in front of the Florida State goalie Sissio. It goes out of bounds, and possession will stay with ASU. Quickly getting it back in, and it's a goal. It looks like it's Martins again. That's going to be a hat trick in the opening half. And Nick, as you mentioned, Florida State thought they were going to win possession. They weren't ready. They weren't defensively set up, and Martins was able to manage.
Martins is just doing a great job of his off-ball movement, cutting to the crease. That's where he's gotten the majority of his goals, and it's an early hat trick in the first half.
Yeah, well, Sissio was out of his net that time thinking that the Seminoles were going to have the rock. He looked around and realized that Arizona State not only had been awarded possession, gotten it back in, he couldn't get back in a good shot-stopping position, and Jake Martins was left in front of the goal to take advantage. Again, his third goal of the opening half ties the game at 3 with 1:34 to go before halftime.
That's the dangers of a goalie leaving for chasing a shot. It leaves the net open off a quick restart.
Well, guess what? Another face-off win for Driscoll. So impressive. He's been so today. He's able to let ASU, they might have the last possession of this opening half, have a chance despite all of the penalties and all of the offensive possession time for Florida State. It's the Sun Devils who might have a chance to take the lead going into halftime here. Ball moved around behind the Florida State goal again. It's Rhett Rogers with it. Rogers sends it to the corner. Will check out. ASU getting their offensive unit back into the game again here. Far side, it's Bradway giving it up. Running with one rouse, Havland. Patrick Havland trying to get it towards the goal, and actually that's Emerson Roth with it. He'll send it back behind the net to Rogers. To the top, Bradway has to try to win a ground ball. He couldn't win it at the first try. Still in the air, battling for it. Here is Roth. He's the one who finally wins the ground ball. And now a flag coming out and a penalty against Florida State with just 20 seconds to go in the opening half.
That's a huge ground ball, because after that ground ball, now a flag is on the field, and ASU's going to have an opportunity to go man up before half.
Sun Devils try to get one to the front. They do, and they score, and they take the lead with just 9 seconds to go in the opening half. It was a loose ball behind the net. They were able to get it in front, and ASU, for the first time tonight, has a lead just in time before halftime.
Excellent move from X. Excellent move. The left side, great backhand shot, excellent finish.
So with 9 seconds to go, the Sun Devils, who have had to battle so much adversity in this opening half, have 2 late goals in the second quarter, and they will have the lead in just 9 seconds to kill off to be able to take that lead into the locker room. And with Driscoll taking the faceoff, you feel confident that they'll be able to. So Todd McRobbie will obviously have some complaints for his team going into the break, but will feel good about the way the scoreline sits. The 8th-ranked Devils leading the 15th-ranked Seminoles 4-3 here in the last moments of the second quarter. Oh, quick win that time for Driscoll. Is able to lay it off for Carrasco, and it looks like the Sun Devils will be content to let the clock run out. Carrasco doesn't even shot, and at halftime here, it's 4-3, the Sun Devils leading Florida State after 30 minutes. We have our halftime show coming up next here on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network. You're watching MCLA lacrosse action. 4-3, the Sun Devils lead it at halftime.
Hello and welcome to WCSN's halftime show. I'm Eliav Gabai. This is Devin Henry, and that's Spencer Hardenberg. Right now it's halftime, and the score is 4-3 ASU. It's a low-scoring game. We talked a lot about defense in the pregame, and it's shown here. Spencer, you mentioned the young defense for ASU. What have you liked out of them?
I think they've done a really good job of limiting ball movement. They haven't been afraid to be physical with Florida State's attack, and have done a really good job of limiting penetration as well. Most of the goals have come from a guy on the outside driving into the inside. So the passing, they've really done a good job of limiting Florida State's passing.
And Devin, we saw a lot of missed ground balls from both sides. Really, what can they do to clean it up?
We've seen a lot of sloppy play here in the first half of the first game of the season. Both sides of the ball, both teams. Expect them to pick it up a little bit, get rid of those first half blues of the first game, start getting more aggressive and jumping on top of those balls.
And Spencer, I'll swing it back to you. Penalties. They've hurt ASU. Is ASU being a little bit too aggressive, or are the refs not letting them play enough?
I think the refs could let the boys play a little bit more, but I do like to see the aggression, especially out of young players. Like I said, they're not afraid to be physical, and that's great to see out of young players. You don't love penalties, but, definitely rookie mistakes, I'll take it.
Yeah. And Devin, last one's for you. It's been a low-scoring game up to this point, like we mentioned already, 4-3 ASU. Are we going to keep seeing a low score like this, a defensive battle, or are things going to open up for both teams?
Well, then we're on track for 8-6. I don't think we're going to see an 8-6 ball game. Okay. Rush will shake off a little bit, and I think we'll see at least one team reach double digits.
Yeah, a little bit of the first game blues, if you will. Devin's calling it the shake off. We'll see what happens. Right now, ASU is up once again, 4-3. Jack Harris and Nick Sheehy will be on the call, but for now, I'm Eliav Gabai. This is Devin Henry, and that's Spencer Hardenberg. We'll see you in the post game, but we have a lot of fun coming up in this second half. Stay tuned.
Welcome back here to Glendale, Arizona. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network. Jack Harris, Nick Sheehy back with you to begin the second half between the 8th-ranked Arizona State Sun Devils and the 15th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. It's 4-3 in favor of the home Sun Devils to begin the half, and they will have possession first as they lost the opening faceoff of the game. Face-off they've lost. Trevor Driscoll's been one of the impressive storylines from that first half, Nick.
There'll be no face-off to start the second half, but they're going to get the ball from that penalty in the last possession.
Yes, it is. It's the man up that ASU will have. The first time they've been on the man up, they've been man down plenty of times, 4 times to be exact. The Sun Devils have taken penalties, but they have a chance here to extend their lead with the man advantage. They'll move the ball around. Parietti has it, shoots one. That's a good save by Ciccio, who was shaken up in that second quarter, but he's back between the poles for Florida State and makes a good stop to begin the second half.
Excellent save by Ciccio. Off stack to the left side. Did a great job of reaching down there.
Marthin's battling behind the goal now as the ball was pried loose, but Florida State's able to settle it down. It's Ciccio, the goalie, who finally came away with it. Seminoles nearly and probably will be able to kill off the rest of this man down as Dawson Allen runs it forward. Gives one up for Yoakum. Stefan Yoakum now passes it to the far side. Running here the Seminoles, who are going to be able to go back to even strength and will have possession in ASU's box. With it. Dawson Allen holds it. The junior from Fort Lauderdale. Now gives one up for Cole Lindquist. Well, it's a Florida State. In his 41 career games played for the Seminoles, he has 111 goals, just shy of nearly 3 a game. But Florida State's big offensive star in that first half was Davis Goodman. He had 2 goals for the Seminoles. He had each of the first 2 goals, both of which at the time put Florida State in the lead. Since then, though, the Sun Devils have been able to come back and take their first lead of the game, and now a good save for Letty. He's also had a good first half, Nick.
Shot by Yoakum. That's definitely not the shot you want to take from way outside. Perliti saw it the hallway, and he's been playing fantastic. You know, coming into the season, a lot of people didn't know who was going to be the goalie. Like, a lot of people thought it was going to be Rufanis. Waltenberg was getting reps. All the goalies were splitting reps, and Perliti has been great.
Yeah, the team that said they didn't know who was going to be goalie up until just hours earlier today. It's been a big battle between the senior captain, Parletti. Parletti was the guy who took most of the game time, a season goal for ASU, and he's the one who starts the season in goal again here in 2017. The Sun Devils looking to drive one forward here. Switching is Emerson Roth, the freshman. Now he gives one up for Wanyorick. Wanyorick sends it behind the net, but unable to catch that pass. I think it was Havland, or no, it was Rogers who couldn't corral. State will get possession.
Can't turn the ball over like that.
Frustrated with that. The Sun Devils hadn't had many possessions.
Back-to-back turnovers.
In that opening half. But yeah, a little sloppy play here to begin the second half. Arizona State eventually winding up with the rock here. We wait for a substitution to be made, and now we're back underway. This one sent back to the defender. The long stick midfielder, Zach Long, with it. He gives it to the goalie, Parletti, a long pass downfield, and the Sun Devils are able to move it forward. It's Rhett Rogers with it.
Look from Perliti to Rhett Rogers on the clear.
Sun Devils setting up the zone. They send it back to the top of the box. Holding it that time was Bradway. Bradway sends one down the left side to Wanyorick. Now behind the Florida State goal, the Sun Devils will pick it up again. It's running, trying to shoot one, but couldn't get a shot away. Got knocked out of the puck, and Florida State will be able to get the ball back. 3.5 minutes gone here in the second half as Florida State will bring one forward. It's Dawson Allen trying to run with it. He slips, avoided a poke check.
Great ride here.
Was a good ride that time by Red Rogers. It's back to the goalie, Ciccio. He's able to run one way forward. As Florida State looking to attack in transition. They have a man wide open in front of the goal, but they couldn't get the pass through. Good defense that time by the Sun Devils. Otherwise, there was a man left all alone to Parletti's right. But still on a change of possession here.
Cole Lindquist was wide open on the doorstep.
With Lindquist's quality is not going to miss those kind of chances. ASU getting away with a defensive lapse that time as the Seminoles tried to attack in transition. We didn't see a lot of that transition play, and came down to the fact that we had 5 penalties between the two teams. Spent with unequal number of players on either side. It led to the unable to get into much rhythm.
Okay.
The Sun Devils move it around. Coming forward with it here is Schwartz. That shot. Possession will stay with the visitors. Florida State looking to get it back into play here from behind the net. They send it right in front. Perlini can't stop that one, and it's a goal for the Seminoles. And we're tied again at 4. Just under 5 minutes gone in the second half, and Florida State has the first goal of half number 2.
What Goodman did here is kept his eyes up. Great cut by Loudermilk and threw a nice skip pass right between the defender and the offensive player, and Loudermilk with a quick stick to the back of the net.
Well, a slight delay here as the Sun Devils look to make some subs defensively before this faceoff is taken. 4-4, and it looks like this game's going to be tight all the way through. Neither team's been able to take more than just a 1-goal lead with 10-15 quarter. We wait for the faceoff. The Devils have been good at the faceoff dot, and it's another win from Trevor Driscoll, who's proving his point of why he won that starting job coming into the season. Sun Devils setting up offensively here. They have it behind the Seminole net.
Rhett Rogers, senior captain.
Devils move it around. Coming back in, here's Parietti. He gives one up to the near side. That's Cody Esery with it. Esery one to watch. He's a Northern Arizona University transfer. Here's a shot. That one hit. It sounded like for the stick of Sissio.
Florida State on that defensive possession brought a quick double to Rhett Rogers when he bumped on the inside, and that's what caused the ground ball.
Well, Sissio had to be alert there, playing behind the net from his normal goalie position to win that ground ball. Ball still in play on the far. Some good moves by the Florida State player there, and he's able to continue to bring it out, avoiding a couple checks. Riding hard right here, but finally it's Allen picking it up for the Seminoles. Ball still loose, and now the Sun Devils have it.
Bodies everywhere.
Well, we've seen a few of those skirmishes so far. The opening faceoff was like that. The crowd getting into it now, and it feels like a offensive possession coming up for the Sun Devils. Coming forward with it, here's Rogers. Pulls up. Parietti struggles with the ball for a minute, now settles it down. Sun Devils will look to set up offense. Parietti gives one to the far, or near side rather, with just over 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. No movement yet as the Sun Devils set up.
Here's Marthins. Hat trick in the first half, and looks like he's about to dodge.
Marthins gives it up here. Possession on the far side for the Sun Devils. Now back to the middle to Roth. Emerson Roth will bring one forward. The freshman Roth back to Marthins. He tried to get one in the middle. It was Havland, but it went over his head and out of play. Possession staying with the Sun. Comes back now to the top of the box to Rogers. Now he gives one up. Here's a shot from Marthins. That one went just wide, out of play, and it'll be Florida State who are awarded possession here. Allen gives it up to his goalie, Sissio.
Another save from Sissio.
Well, he's been... And we mentioned he had that injury on what was an awkward save in that second quarter, but he stayed in the game, and he's going to play well. A good pass as Letson was going to the ground that time. Florida State can come forward with it. Holding it this time is Goodman,
right
the goal scorer. Here's a shot and a goal on the back post that time. It was Kevin Hoppy with it. 2 quick goals for Florida State. 5-4 lead with 7:23 to go in the third quarter.
Kevin Hoppy, the long stick, sticking with offense, runs right down the core of the defense. He's right on the crease, an open look right to him. It was an easy finish.
Well,
None of the ASU defenders even picked him up.
Well, ASU went into so much momentum after they had 2 quick goals going into halftime. Coming out of halftime, it's just Florida State striking back-to-back. They retake the lead 5-4, 7:23 to go in the third quarter. The game remains tight, but it's Florida State who are going to have an advantage on the scoreboard to protect.
How about the long stick getting the goal?
And you don't see that very often. We wait for the face-off here. Driscoll hasn't lost one clean yet today. This time he might have. It's a ground ball. And it's an offside against Florida State. ASU will get possession. Holding it here is Mathian. Zach Mathian, the junior captain.
I gotta say, every clear and ride in this game has been earned. Every ride has been tough from both sides, and every clear has taken a big amount of time up.
Yeah, we've seen some physical play. Ball went out of bounds, but the official right in front of us is saying it was tipped, and Arizona State will keep it. It's Mathian getting it in. Driscoll will run with one here, the face-off man for the Sun Devils. Moves one behind the net, and the Sun Devils will look to set up offensively again. It's Rogers with it. Well, Red Rogers has been quiet. He hasn't had a lot of offensive opportunities, but he's done a good job moving the ball around from that position he likes to have behind the net.
You know, I've noticed at this point in the game, we haven't seen many fast break goals. So when these offenses both get it in the box, they're playing settled down and not...
Sun Devils have it behind the Florida State net here. Turning with it, looking to get a pass in front. It's moved wide. Now back to the top, holding it's Bradway. Bradway gives one up to the near side. Now right on the doorstep, it was Havlin who was looking for it, but the pass went over his head, and Florida State will get it back. 15 to go in the third quarter. Florida State will get it back here. They look to move it forward. Next goal feels a big one with the Seminoles holding a one-goal lead.
Here's Goodman.
Let's see what Austin on the sideline has more to tell us about that.
A lot of pads popping down there on the field, and play. The Sun Devils are really being a lot more physical here in the second half compared to the first half, and the Florida State Seminoles really came out hot. They scored the first two and only 2 goals in the second half here, so the Sun Devils are going to have to find a way to fight back. They're down 5-4, so it'll be interesting to see how the Sun Devils will fight back here in the second half.
Thanks, Austin. Well, the Sun Devils got a free clear that time on a violation from the Seminoles in the offensive zone. With 5:40 to go in the third quarter here.
Comes Cody Esser.
Ezra back into the game. Ezra will be an interesting one to watch, as we said earlier. In his 2 years with the Lumberjacks, he had 59 career goals in Flagstaff. Originally an Anthem, Arizona native, went to Boulder Creek High School. He's on the rock here.
One of many transfers to join ASU this offseason.
Yeah, a lot of transfers on this team. We'll talk about that more as the night and season go on. But so far, it's been the familiar faces for the Sun Devils leading the way. Marthins has 3 goals for ASU. Trevor Driscoll, youngster, has been good at the face-off dot. Parlides made some big saves in net, but the Sun Devils still find themselves down a goal. Loose ball, ground ball. Rogers tried to pick it up, get it, and it's a good pick that time from Calder Alfano, who had ground balls last year in his 15 games played. As a big one here to spring Florida State.
That's a big, strong ground ball there for Alfano. Huge for Florida State.
It's Lindquist with it here for the Seminoles. Sends one back for Eric Marshall, the senior midfielder. Marshall takes his time. Standing right in front of him is Paul Kosler, the freshman long stick midfielder from Gettsville, New York for the Sun Devils. Seminoles move it around. On it now is Pascarella. Pascarella, a little give-and-go play with one of his teammates. Down to the middle, Lindquist shoots and scores! Well, you cannot let Cole Lindquist get open in the middle. We've talked about his goal-scoring prowess tonight. For the first time this season right there to put Florida State ahead 6-4.
Excellent ball movement by Florida State's offense. They get the ball down low. A great cut by Lindquist towards the cage. Great look, great finish. And Florida State, they're rolling right now.
Yeah, not much Parlides is going to do about that. You have one of the scorers in the country with a clean look on goal. It gives Florida State a 2-goal time. Either side has led by more than a single goal with 4:07 to go in the third quarter. And now a timeout by head coach for the Sun Devils, Todd McRobb. He wants to talk things over. The second half not going the way he expected it to.
Perlides played phenomenal. It's hard to make a save from point.
So, Nick, we got just over 4 minutes to go in the third quarter here. This went into that half, or into halftime with so much momentum, but right now the second quarter has been dominated by Florida State. What do the Sun Devils need to do to get themselves back into this game right now?
They got to stop turning the ball over on offense. They've been most successful when Martins was cutting to the cage. So what I would do is I would have fake a cut and give it to Rhett Rogers behind that X. Let him dodge. 6'4", 205 pounds. You let him dodge, open up the offense, and get some time and rooms from Carrasco.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot offensively from Rogers, getting shots away, as we've mentioned. Also from Patrick Havlin, ASU, the one place we felt good about them coming into the season was in their attack. They returned their big three up front in Rogers and Martins. Not that they haven't been great here tonight, but a little stagnant in the offensive box.
Yeah, they've been stagnant in the box. The attack production has mainly come out of Martins. They need to get going.
Well, the players come out of the huddle, and you can hear that the morale on that ASU sideline certainly hasn't gone down yet, despite the 3 goals from Florida State. The Seminoles, a tough opening season matchup for the Sun Devils. 14-1 a season ago. They're so good offensively with that almost 240 goals last year as a team. They have some big physical attackmen who have done some damage in this third quarter to put their side, the visiting side, up 2. Face-off coming up here. Looks like it's still Driscoll in there for the Seminoles right now. Taking it. Looks like Loudermilk again. The official sets up both of the face-off men's sticks. And now they're ready to go, but a false start against the Florida State face-off man that time. And Arizona State will have possession. Driscoll running forward here. Pulls up, looks for an outlet. He finds one, and Roca gives up possession, and now both him and Driscoll will check out as ASU will put their more attack-minded players into the game. Holding it here. Carrasco gives one up to Parietti. Well, this is the midfield combination in the offensive box of the Sun Devils that we saw for the majority of that first half. The ones that did probably the Florida State defense. Parietti with it. Back for Carrasco now. Carrasco sends one low. That's Martins with it.
Here's a
Martins
cutter.
Looking for that cutter. Parietti making the run, but they couldn't get the pass to him. Rogers with it. Trying to back off his defender. Hey. Shot. It was saved. It's still loose, though, and the Sun Devils pick it up. They still have it. Another sharp angle shot. It sounded like it skimmed the post. It goes out of play. It'll stay with ASU, but a good offensive possession here.
Pipe by Brandon Rogers right there.
Came oh so close to clawing the Devils back within a goal. Score remains 6-4 with just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here's Tommy Carrasco. Looking to get towards the middle. He was pushed to the outside by the Florida State defense. Now he has room. Looking to avoids a couple defenders, but couldn't get in a shooting position, but did draw a penalty, and it's going to be a man up for the Sun Devils once Florida State can get it. Both officials down on that side of the field throwing flag. Carrasco will take his time after the good run that drew the penalty with just over 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Here comes an ISO dodge.
Carrasco looking to get it to the front, shoots one, and it looks like he missed it just wide. Ciccio kicked his leg out at it, but now the Sun Devils, with the ball going out of play, will go to the man up. Slashing penalty coming up here against Florida State will give the Sun Devils their second man up opportunity. Game. Exactly 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Sun Devils will have a chance here to get themselves back within 1 and minutes of this third period. The officials get things set up. And the to start their minute man-up opportunity. It's Parietti at the top of the box. One to the near side. Now back behind the net. Sun Devils moving it around. Passing here. Comes all the way back to Parietti. Now reverses. In the far corner of the box, the Sun shot. They get one and a great save from Ciccio. Ball still loose in the air, and the Florida State goalie was one of his defensemen after making a great save to keep the Seminoles up 2.
High heat there by Rhett Rogers, but just an excellent save by Ciccio.
Great poke check that time. A jumping move by Ben Parietti to get possession back for the Sun Devils. That's got his sideline and the and maybe could spring a chance for the Devils of the offensive end.
Extremely physical.
Yes, it's been that so far as Carrasco gives one up, gets it back, a chance. Now gives it up to Parietti to the near side, cutting and shooting, and another great save by Ciccio, denying Martha his 4th of the night. It's Allen with it for the Seminoles, trying to tiptoe the sideline. He does, avoiding the ride from Parietti, brings it all the way forward, and we're back to even numbers on both sides.
Ciccio lights out since the start of the second half.
Yeah, the Devils had plenty of opportunities on that man up, but the Florida State goalie, too much. The transfer, as we mentioned, from the Division I school, Manhattan College, coming up big in his first game for the Seminoles. Meanwhile, Florida State has it in their offensive box. They move the rock around here. Pick up possession now is Brower. Brower being tracked by Zach Mathian. Takes it behind the Sun Devil goal. Seminoles still looking for something to spark this offensive possession. They side here, it's Schwartz. Trying to find an angle. A good pass into the middle by Schwartz. We're able to keep that one from getting a shot away. Now they can bring it back the other way in transition.
That was a great look from Schwartz to Lindquist, and then a great save by Perliti.
A shot here from the Sun Devils. It was Carrasco trying to get there, but now the Seminoles were closest to it when it went out of bounds. Possession back, and Nick, you look a little frustrated after that.
If you're going to take a shot like that, there needs to be back. There should be no reason for the goalie to be gaining possession after a shot like that.
Yeah, well, we've seen some sloppy play in this third quarter from the Sun Devils, and it's showing up on the scoreboard as we had less than 10 seconds quarter, and the Seminoles nearly added to their lead again. Shot went just wide from the line. 4 seconds left as play resumes, and maybe time for one last shot. Dropping the ball that time, though. And that brings us to the end of the third. After 3, it's 6-4. Florida State leads it. They outscore the Devils 3-0 in that quarter. And Arizona State's going to need if they're going to start the season with a win.
So, Michael Imperial. If you're not here. Okay. How about Lindsay Garcia? Okay. I got one more. Sean DeKaiko? Austin Burnett? Whitney Wilson?
Welcome back. We're ready to begin the fourth quarter here between State Sun Devils and Florida State Seminoles. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network. Jack Harris and Nick Sheehy with you. Nick, it's 6-4 Seminoles going into this fourth quarter. Do you see ASU getting back in this game right now?
Yes, just from their face-offs and their attack unit. Driscoll's been winning every single face-off, so if they get a goal, they could easily get it right back.
Well, a battle for this face-off. Driscoll these longer battles, and he wins another one here, getting it out. Setting a block that time was long, and he allows Driscoll to come in and pick up the ground ball.
You know, my biggest surprise from this game has been the success of Trevor Driscoll at Fogo for ASU. Coming into this game, I thought Zach Mathian the face-offs. He had a 67% face-off percentage last year, but Driscoll has rang the bell, and he's been phenomenal here tonight.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Sun Devils can take advantage of Driscoll's good face-off ability so far. They have it in the offensive zone, and it feels like they need a quick goal right now to get themselves jump-started to begin this fourth quarter. It's Rhett Rogers with it, taking his time.
He's been quiet.
To the top of the box. We're taking it here is Wes Schuler, the first time we've seen him running the top of the box of this Sun Devil offense. Schuler gets one to the middle. Rogers trying to shoot one, but that one went wide, and Florida State will pick up possession.
Another turnover for this Sun Devil offense. They got to stop forcing passes.
Yeah, we didn't see much of that in the first half. We saw actually pretty clinical play, maybe outside of the penalties, but that third quarter was not the brightest. You expect some rust in a season opener, and now from sides is a bad turnover.
Here's a fast break.
Leads to a chance here for Havland, and he just missed it over the top of the net. Havland got it all the way towards goal, but he could not get it underneath the crossbar. Florida State will get possession back as Havland's shot went out of play.
Florida State got the chase again. They're gonna have another opportunity to clear the ball.
So it's Sissio in the middle here for the Seminoles. Florida State has yet to have a possession in this fourth quarter. Sissio had to be careful, and a man bearing down on him from behind, and now an offsides will give the ball right back to ASU. So now Florida State, the one starting to make some sloppy plays. Griffin runs forward here with speed. Griffin taking it to his left, pulling up. Not usually an offensive player is Griffin, but he has it in his stick now. Now gives it up, and he'll check out.
Great speed there on Griffin to get it right in the box.
He's made a couple good runs from the defensive half tonight to get it in to the box for the Sun Devils, who will set it up here. It's Havlin with it. Gives one up to the near side. Bradway back to the top of the box here. Coming forward now is Roth, Emerson Roth. Trying to get one towards the goal. Roth is going to have a chance to shoot one here, but he shoots it just wide. It'll go out of play and stay with the Sun Devils. 12:51 to go in the fourth quarter. Tense moments here for ASU, who don't want to season with a loss, even against a ranked side like Florida State. Schuler gets it back here at the top of the box. Takes his time, gives one to the near side. It's Roth again with it. He just missed the net with a shot to Emerson Roth. Turning here, trying to shoot another one. This time misses it on the near side.
Two lefty shots in a row for Arizona State. Not connecting.
Yeah, they've yet to get that real dangerous shot in the middle. Maybe Rhett Rogers can do it. He tries to carve some space. Instead gives it back to Roth. To the top, Schuler.
Comes a dodge.
Schuler running. Some good movement here by the Sun Devils. Almost found themselves a good shot. Back for Roth. Gives it to Rogers on the left. Back to the top of the ball. Moving it along that time was Bradway.
Great ball movement this possession from the Sun Devils.
Yeah, they've had Florida State kind of chasing play a little bit. Rogers with it, trying to make a move. Trying to get one towards goal, but another stop that time by Sissio. Now the ball's loose in the crease, but an interference against Arizona State will give possession back to Florida State with 11:51 to go.
That's a great job by Rhett Rogers recognizing the mismatch, making a quick split dodge to the left, but Sissio too good on the doorstep.
Yeah, and we've seen Rogers to really get into the game offensively. He's had a few chances, but Sissio has met all of them in the second half. Florida State will get it forward now. They'll have a possession. I think their first possession is fourth quarter, or at least offensive one. They've turned it over a couple of times, but now it's Yoakum with it. along behind that ASU net. Running with it here is Schwartz. Schwartz waits, reverses direction, trying to find on that sharp angle. It's the way Florida State's like to attack, but a good check that time. It looked like it was Nathan Blair with it, the defender. He's the leader of that back line. Made a good play, but can't keep it in play, and possession will remain with the Seminoles.
That's excellent defense there by the edge.
Back from Marmetsky. He looks to get one towards goal, shoots one, and that one deflected off the crossbar. He had beat Parliti, but it goes out of play and remains 6-4. Florida State gets it back. Another goal for the Seminoles could be fatal for the Sun Devils' chances tonight. Turning with it on the outside of the crease is Munzo. Now gets it for Goodman. Goodman turning.
Goodman to Lindquist.
Sends it back to Lindquist. That's a dangerous combination up top for Florida State. In no rush here. They have a 2-goal lead. And 10.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Moving it around to the offensive end. Comes to the near side now. Yoakum sends it behind the net. They keep rotating. Here's a shot. That one stopped by Parletti. And he's able to crowd the rebound. And will try to clear it for ASU. Gives it to Jeff Sanchez, picks it up. Sanchez wants to run down the sideline. Avoids a check that time from Tucker Schwartz. Sanchez will draw a penalty, and it'll be a man-up opportunity coming up for the Sun Devils. Ball still loose. Florida State will pick it up. That'll lead to a stoppage. It's a slashing call that Tucker Schwartz, and a big opportunity for the Sun Devils, who really need a goal. 55 to go. The man-up opportunity on its way.
Goalie play has been exceptional on both sides. Perliti is making phenomenal saves, and Sissio hasn't let in a goal since the second quarter.
Well, Sissio had to make a couple big stops at the end of that third quarter. The last time ASU had a man-up opportunity, he might need to be called on again to keep Florida by 2. It's Rhett Rogers with it for the Sun Devils. Gives it back for Tommy. Now it's been Parietti. Parietti turns, sends it back behind the net for ASU. On the near side. Reversing again. Back for Rogers. Might have a chance to shoot run. Stick checks by Florida State. Keeps Red Rogers from getting an attempt. Still has it. Rogers looking to shoot it. Saved by Sissio is right at him. And he was able to get a stick on it.
Florida State's defense has done a phenomenal job of bringing a double when Rhett Rogers gets the ball in space.
Yeah, well, he's so big and physical as Rogers. He loves to use his body, use his strength to create space, but he's been unable to do it here. And now Sissio, the goalie for Florida State, had carried it all the way up the field, and then just before getting checked, called timeout. 10 to go in the fourth quarter. It remains 6-4 here. 10 minutes to play. The Sun Devils trailing by 2. On that Florida State bench right now, what do you think they're telling their players who have played very well in the second half?
They're telling their players to just keep grinding. Every single loose ball has been fought for. And they need Lindquist and Goodman more opportunities for open looks.
Yeah, well, head coach Jerry DeLorenzo has got to be happy with his team so far. It's a big weekend for Florida State, including this game tonight. They'll travel down to Tucson later this weekend to take on the University of Arizona. The Wildcats are ranked number 10 right now in the MCLA coaches poll. So the 15th ranked Seminoles testing themselves and are passing the test so far, leading 6-4 with 9:10 to go in the fourth quarter.
And remember, this is a Florida State team that only suffered one loss last season. They were disqualified from even entering the tournament due to some suspensions, but they're back this year, and they're ready to make a run at a national title.
Yeah, well, you know they're going to have that hunger in them. A 14-1 record was one of the best in the country. Probably challenged the Chapman Panthers, who were the eventual national champions, a Chapman team that knocked Arizona State out of the championships a season ago. So we're just about ready to get back underway. Once again, 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The Sun Devils really can't afford to give up more goals, especially until they can score one of their own. They've been held scoreless throughout the entirety of the far. Starting with it will be Marmitsky. He's guarded on the sideline by Scioto. Takes it all the way behind the net. Florida State still taking their time with it. They go back to even strength here. Ball, but the Seminoles look to get there first. They can. A good check along the sideline. We'll see what the officials rule here. And they're going to say it's Florida State who will get possession. Clock continues to tick down under to play in regulation. Seminoles take time. Won't mind at all to bleed out the clock. The officials will be looking to make sure Florida State's not stalling. As Stefan Yoakum holds it behind the ASU goal. Shakes off his defender. Looks to get one in front. He does, and a shot. That was Lindquist with it, but he missed it just wide. Nearly had his second goal of the night.
Very good look from Lindquist.
You don't see him miss those good shot opportunities. And he scored from a similar area in the third quarter. Here's a shot. That one looked like Parliti was able to make that save, and the sophomore goalie is able to get possession for the Sun Devils and look to break it out. Griffin, this one just shy of midfield. He'll run forward with it. Has a lot of speed. Instead, gives it up, though. It's Rogers with it. Rogers has come close to scoring in the second half for ASU a couple times. He gets it back behind the Florida State net here. He's got Kendall Griffin, who's still in the game offensively for the moment. Now he'll check out and switch places with Tommy Carrasco.
More subs are coming on the field.
Carrasco has it. Sends one back for Ben Parietti. Parietti reverses direction of play here, sending a pass to the far side of the field. Has it. He fakes a pass. Now runs it onto his right side. Shoots one. That's just wide. Goes out of bounds. Stays with Arizona State with 7:23 to go in the fourth. Not too many possessions left in this one for ASU. They can't afford to waste their opportunities down here in the Florida State end, trailing 6-4. Picking it up, here's Parietti. Gives it to Carrasco. Our side, that's Bradway with it.
Even though they're down 2, there's no need to rush for a score with minutes left in the game.
And
take your time, settle the ball down, and try and get the ball in the back of the net.
And it goes to the quality over quantity thing. A bunch of quick possessions that don't have a lot of good scoring opportunities in them won't do ASU any good. It's Parietti with it. Looks around. Carrasco too far for a shot. Passes it on to Bradway. Carrasco gets it back here. Gets a screen from Parietti. Running with it. Carrasco looking for a shot. Instead sends it behind the net and then decks one of the Florida State players. A centering pass here, though, is picked up by Florida State. Another big hit. That time flying in. It was Parietti trying to get it, and now the Sun Devils do get it back. It's Rogers with it in a dangerous spot. Rogers taking it to his left, now settles down with 6:20 to go in the fourth.
Rogers had a skip pass on the backside, but he forced it on the crease, and that's when the ball hit the carpet.
Some good riding from the Sun Devils that time, but they'll need to go back to it here as a turnover. Puts the ball on the ground. Sun Devils do pick up possession again, though. Carrasco getting it. Just over 6 minutes to play in the fourth. Parietti looking to drive forward. Parietti getting right in front. Scores! Ben Parietti gets his first goal as a Sun Devil and brings ASU back within one. 6-5 the score with 5:56 to go in the fourth.
Parietti, an unassisted goal. Just a downhill dodge to the left. Switches hands for a quick finish. Right over the moment. Excellent.
Well, the Sacramento native was a transfer from NCAA Division I Richmond, where he was mainly a face-off man a season ago, but he's been running the offense here tonight and has a big goal to get the game back within one. And it looks like we're going to have a photo finish here in Glendale with 5:56 to go in the game. 6-5, the Seminoles lead. Trevor Driscoll, he could use another face-off. Momentum back on the ASU side of the field. He does. Gets it out to Griffith. Another good for Driscoll that time. Griffin wants to run with this.
Excellent pinch and pop there from Driscoll on the face-off.
The sophomore midfielder gives it back to Driscoll. Driscoll sends it low. Check out of the game now as the ball comes to Rogers on the near side. Well, you feel like at some point Rhett Rogers is going to find the back of the net for ASU. He's come close so many times so far.
Huh?
So far.
Oh, yeah. Hey, did the Lakers won, right?
Here's Carrasco with it. With 5:22 to go. Moves it along in the offensive box for ASU. Sends it into the corner of the box now. Now back behind the net for Rogers. Time ticking down, just over 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here in Austin. What are you seeing from the sideline right now?
Well, the Sun Devils have been, again, physical, just like they were in the first half, but just as the Sun Devils really needed a goal, Ben Parietti stepped up for the Sun Devils, got the goal. It's 5-6 with 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter to see what the Sun Devils can do next as they try to finish out this.
Well, the Sun Devils win it. The Sun Devils win a big scrum right there after a loose ball went out of bounds. ASU will get possession. It looks like we have an injured Florida State player on the field right now. We'll take a minute. I can't see who's down there. As we've seen a lot of times tonight, another physical battle between to try to win a loose ball.
From the first face-off of the first quarter, this game has just been as physical as a game as I've seen. Everything's been earned. Every clear, every possession, every goal has just been earned. And you really got to appreciate the effort from both these teams.
Yeah, well, and it's two teams who come into the season with a lot of motivation. ASU, after what was a disappointing in 2016, a 6-5 record. We mentioned Florida State. Despite their stellar 14-1 record, were ineligible to make the tournament. And you can see it in the passion that both teams have brought here opening night. Well, it's ASU who trail 6-5, 4:40 go, 44 to go in the game. They need a goal to get it tied. Behind the net, the Sun Devils trying to reverse position here. It's Marthins.
Look at Rogers on the backside. It's not there anymore.
Gives it to Parietti. Arizona State continues to move it around. Driving one right now is Rogers. Brendan Rogers avoids a check. The freshman midfielder getting some important minutes here by head coach Todd McRobbie.
Nice bounce shot off the rollback. Good that ASU had backup.
Sun Devils look to get it set up again. Carrasco has it. Moves it for Parietti, who just scored to bring the Sun Devils back within one. It was their first goal of the second half, the one that Parietti just tallied. Now Carrasco looking for one of his own. Slips, falls down, trying to possession for the Sun Devils. Parietti getting in on the scrum. Rogers coming over for it now. He tried to pick it up, but it goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Sun Devils, and Florida State will get possession with under 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Florida State, their goalie Ciccio with it. They'll look to bring it up the field. ASU needs to force a turnover in a bad way. They're running out of time, down by one, and the last thing they can do here is concede.
Florida State playing settled now. They're not trying to rush.
Yeah, no need to if you're the Seminoles. You have the lead. Less time on the clock right now. Picking it up here is Yoakum. Stefan Yoakum gives one up for Marmetsky. Being defended by Alex Roque. Sun Devils, a junior midfielder. He pushes Marmetsky behind the ASU net.
Taking his shorts behind the net isn't always good.
Just over 3 minutes to go. Now it comes to the near side. Catching that one was Darby Brower for Florida State. He sends one back for Yoakum. Florida State really stretching positioning here. Still in no rush at all as the clock ticks down under 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Right now it's Tucker Schwartz with the rock.
Warning.
Gets around his man after Florida State. That stall warning. Schwartz looking for an open place to go with the pass. But now a change of possession after the Florida State violation, and ASU wants to run.
Look at him run.
Plenty of space
Look at
and
that
plenty of speed.
Here's a fast break.
Arizona State can come in transition. They couldn't find that clear-cut scoring opportunity, however.
Smart decision to press the brakes and to settle up.
We saw ASU try to force a shot earlier in the as Sparky's in the way of our camera here. The Sun Devils setting up on offense. Under 2 minutes to go now in the fourth quarter. And the middle, catching that one was Emerson Roth. Gives it to Bradway. Back behind the net to the left side. He reverses for Haviland. Back for Marthins. Now all the way back to the top. It's Roth with it again.
Here comes a dodge.
Back for Bradway.
Back to pulling it out. They're stretching the Florida State defense out right now.
ASU desperately searching for a goal. Rogers has it in space. Can he find himself a shot? No. Gives back for Bradway. Bradway stops. Waits for a man to cut in front of him. Under 90 seconds to go. And what could be ASU's last possession, they turn it over, and Florida State can come away with it.
Oh, here's
running
a fast
through
break.
the middle of the field.
Fast break.
Is Masters.
This could be the icing on the
Finds
cake.
an open man, a shot, and that one was stopped by Perliti. Still alive.
Oh.
A good check that time in front of the goal, but
There's
it's
a
going to be a
flag.
penalty against ASU. The Sun Devils sideline can't believe it. They will go a man down with exactly a minute to play, trailing 6-5.
That's a killer.
Yeah, not much doubt about that one, as now the Sun Devils have to play the remainder of regulation time a man short. We get a timeout call here from Florida State. What are they going to talk about here now? If you are a man up, but you don't want to force anything and let ASU get a chance to intercept a pass or win a ground ball, Nick, what does Florida State need to do to protect this lead with a minute to go?
They're man up, which means someone will always be open. I think Arizona State's going to press out on defense. They're going to try and force a turnover. So as long as they run and keep their eyes up, they can keep the ball away from Arizona State and seal the win.
Now, on the reverse side, if you are ASU, you're a man down, but you have to score. What's the best way to go about getting reception and getting it forward to try to tie this game at 6?
Just draw a quick double. If with the ball, you draw a quick double. If Florida State spreads themselves out, that could be very detrimental to Arizona State's chance at getting the ball back.
Well, it's kind of like what you see in basketball late in a game when a team has a turnover. We could see something similar here in the final 60 seconds of the fourth quarter. Once again, 6-5, 15th-ranked Florida State leads the 8th-ranked Arizona State Sun Devils in the season. Both teams. Well, one more time here before we get back underway, we'd like to thank ASU Lacrosse. Broadcast this game to you on the Walter Cronkite Sports Network. It's been a thriller by more than 2 goals as we're down to the final moments of this one.
Seminoles, Sun Devils, it doesn't get much better than this, Jack.
No doubt about that. A ranked matchup, a non-conference for that to begin the season. It's been a treat to bring to you, and we'll see if we have some late drama now to cap off what's been a great night. We get back underway here. It's Mermichki with it. He's tightly guarded by Roca, and now a timeout. I don't know if it's a timeout.
Florida State's in an empty net.
Well, we wait for play to get back underway here. Not sure what this was about. No time came off the clock there as it still stands with a minute to go in the fourth quarter. Still 6-5 Florida State leads, and they still have possession. Up.
Perliti now on the offensive side of the field. As if ASU can get the ball back, he's going to have to run to get back into the cage.
Well, turning with it, here's Mermichki. He has the open net. He doesn't shoot at it. Instead, plays it back for Schwartz. 4 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Schwartz trying to turn away from a couple ASU defenders. They've got him trapped line, but he's able to get out of it. Gives the ball back to Davis Goodman.
ASU's got to draw 2.
Only being guarded. And now plenty of space here with just 22 seconds to go, and it looks like Florida State, this clock.
They got to ride. Ooh.
A good pass that time and a good
Fantastic catch
by Mermichki. that could have let ASU break away with it. Instead, running with it here is Allen with 5 seconds to go. Allen will take it into the corner. Time will run out, and Florida State is going to start their season with a win against top 10 Arizona State. Well,
Looks
maybe
like
the
1 second left.
Yeah, the buzzer went off. Not much that ASU will be able to do with 1 second. So just a formality here as they'll have to play out the final second of this one.
Game, Jack.
It has been a good game. It's been a physical game, which you don't always expect to see in the first. There's usually a feeling out period. Not tonight, though. Florida State's going to celebrate this one. A 6-5 victory over 8th-ranked Arizona State. Here in Glendale, they start what is a tough doubleheader in the state of Arizona with a big win, and now they're piling on their goalie, Sissio, who had an absolutely fantastic game.
Sissio, to me, is the player of the game. He was a brick wall in the cage tonight for the Seminoles. Huge road win for the Seminoles, and we're just getting started here.
Yeah, well, and there's so much you can say about Sissio. Not only did he perform the way he did, but he also had to deal with that injury late in the second quarter. It looked like he might have been coming out of the game. He stuck it out. He stayed in there, and he's really probably the #1 reason why Florida State wins this game 6-5. Well, we'll have our post-game show coming up for you here on the Ralto Cronkite Sports Network. Once again, Florida State winning at 6-5. Thanks for tuning into this one. For Nick Sheehy, I'm Jack Harris from Glendale, Arizona. Florida State victorious over the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Hello and welcome into WCSN's post-game coverage of ASU versus FSU Lacrosse. I'm Eliav Gabai. With me is Devin Henry and Spencer Hardenberg. Guys, a dramatic one for the first game, 6-5. FSU pulls out the upset. Spence, you were right twice. You called the upset, and Davis Goodman with 2 goals. What'd you see out of ASU just couldn't handle it?
I think it was mostly on the defensive end, especially junior goalie Anthony Sissio for ASU had chances in the second half. If you watch it, I mean, totally a lot of chances to score because of Sissio. Sissio had plenty of saves, and the defense just was not letting Arizona State capitalize.
Devin, he mentioned the offense had a lot of opportunities. One went wrong for them.
Well, I don't think that either coach is really going to like what came out of this game. Lost sloppy play, first game rust and whatnot. Spencer, another thing that you were right about was the young ASU defense kind of falling apart. ASU as a whole kind of seemed discombobulated the whole game on offense and defense. Moving into Atlanta, Georgia against Georgia Tech and Georgia next week, we won't see this team for a couple of weeks. They're definitely going to be working on that defense and trying to find a way to execute better on offense.
Well, Devin mentioned it. Next game for ASU is against Georgia Tech at 1 p.m. February 18th in Atlanta, followed by Georgia. So we'll see what happens there, guys. I had a fun time regardless broadcasting this game with you. But for now, for Devin Henry and Spencer Eliav Gabai, sending you off for a good night and have a good weekend. From WCSN crew, everyone from Blaine, our producer, and everyone involved, thank you so much for joining us.